to Yahweh, Ba'Shem Yahushua, Ba'Shem Ruach HaKodesh. I want to give double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone who rule well, and salutations of much love to the rest of you sincere Akim, pushing the word in truth and sincerity. This is the cleric Izar coming at you with another lesson. I'm continuing in my lot to bring you my ongoing series from excerpts of Hollywood's Factory of Perverseness. Another observation of predictive programming and how art imitates life and vice versa. Just a reminder, the purpose of my videos is to show correlations. Correlation is an observation of a mutual relationship or connection between two or more things. I use movies to extract or extrapolate a narrative. I'm not glorifying the Hollywood culture or life. I have a wide knowledge of films, whether they be foreign or domestic, and I just use them as an example to bring out those similarities and those correlations. To quote Cecil B. DeMille, the greatest source of material for motion pictures is the Bible. I call this lesson, The Elect has Spiritual Chastity Belts. The image I have on display is from a film I watched in my past. Of course, being this truth, I reflected on this particular movie. This movie was released on May 7th, 2015. The title of it is Mad Max Fury Road, director George Miller. Okay, I'm just going to get right into it. If you've seen this film, you may want to check it out. I mean, it's not that many really good films in the last 20 years. Out of George Miller's filmography, this film series is one of his best. But basically, spoiler alert, in this particular film, our hero Mad Max, played by not Mel Gibson, the other cat, Tom Hardy, has been captured by this group of people, and the main villain, I forget his name. I think it's well, anyway, the villain is basically, he has a harem of women, and this is his prized possession. Okay, and the basic story, the premise is he's trying to get these women back from the people that have stolen them. All right, and these women have these chastity belts on them. As you can see in this particular scene, this image, there's the chastity belt on this one woman here, and you see the lock on it over there. And basically, they finally get away from the villain, and they're trying to snatch off these chastity belts. Okay, because hey, you know, they want to do what they want to do. But this lesson really isn't about, you know, women trying to do what they want to do, and I really could have stirred it that way. But I was mainly thinking about how the elect has chastity belts. Okay, and you can see how this villain was coming to get his property back, and that's just how the Most High, or I should say the Most High's Son, feels about his elect, the 144,000, the first fruits or the first spirits ordained to be the ones to inherit the kingdom of heaven. Okay, and some will experience death, some will not. Okay, but in the book of Revelations, chapter 14, I'm going to start at verse 4, speaks of the Lamb being Yahushua, or the one you ignorantly call Jesus Christ, and the 144,000, which make up the blacks, Native Americans, and Latinos, specifically the elect of the blacks, Native Americans, Latinos, which also make up the lost tribes of Israel. Okay, but Revelations chapter 14, verse 4 reads as such: "These are they which were not defiled with women, for they are virgins. These are they which follow the Lamb, whithersoever he goeth. These were redeemed from among men, being the first fruits unto the Most High and to the Lamb." Okay, so a lot of Christians, when they read this, they see that part where it says they are virgins, and when it's speaking about they were not defiled with women, it's talking about the other philosophies of this world. Just like Esau wants to penetrate the people with this particular RFID microchip, which is the mark of the beast, the Most High has pierced the elect with this particular knowledge and this truth that we've obtained to understand the Holy Scriptures. Okay, and even before we came into the truth, we had some type of feeling or inkling that this place was off, and there's a lot of things that were off that were being taught to us, whether it be in church or whether it be in school. Okay, so just like in the flesh, where a woman is penetrated by a man's rod, the elect have not been fully penetrated by the foolishness teachings of this world. Okay, so just like this chastity belt is on these women, and just like in real life where chastity belts have been created, it was also to make sure that the man would put chastity belt on his woman, so she couldn't be penetrated when he wasn't around. Okay, so just like the Most High has with his elect men. Okay, now, how do we know that this particular defilement is speaking about the knowledge and wisdom, or the foolish knowledge of this world? Well, when you go into Proverbs chapter 1, you can read verses 20 through 33, Proverbs chapter 8, starting at verse 1, and read all throughout Proverbs chapter 9, verse 12. It speaks of wisdom being personified as a woman who has much to offer, including enduring wealth and prosperity and life to anyone who would heed her words. All right. And when you get into those particular chapters, it goes into the wisdom being personified as a woman. Okay. And in the Gospel of John, John the Baptist speaks of Yahweh Shai, or one we usually call Jesus Christ, as the bridegroom, and he mentions the bride, which is the elect, or the 144,000. Okay, when you go into John chapter 3, verse 29, it goes into this particular testimony about Yahweh Shai. John chapter 3, verse 29 reads, "He that hath the bride is the bridegroom, but the friend of the bridegroom, which standeth and heareth him, rejoiceth greatly because of the bridegroom's voice. This my joy therefore is fulfilled." Okay, and this is how the ancient times were. You know, when you were getting a woman, you were getting a virgin. Okay, you were getting one that wasn't penetrated by another man. Okay, and this was the true value of a woman, was her virginity. Okay, and especially for a man that wanted to have a bride. Okay, and you know, it's just, you know, when you when you're having a woman and she's had different men that have penetrated her, you know, she's been penetrated with these different other spirits. Okay, and that's why so many women today are so out of their mind, because of the amount of men that they've been with. Okay, and their body count and so forth. So that's how the Most High, or Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, sees his particular men, or his first fruits. Okay, but it means for the 2/3 of Israel, they're pretty much gone. They don't really have a sense of right or wrong. Okay, but the 1/3, or specifically the elect, they've been given this truth and this knowledge, which brings wisdom and prosperity. Ultimately, the kingdom of heaven. Okay, which they're going to inherit. Some will die by guillotine, by not taking the RFID, the mark of the beast. But some will be delivered. Some will also be given spiritual powers. Okay. Okay. But I'm just going to end it on this, because I always like to end my videos on a good note with some type of silver lining, and there's light at the end of the tunnel. So in other words, there's a happy ending. When you go into the book of Revelation, chapter 21, it speaks of a new heaven and a new earth. Speaking of the kingdom of heaven finally being established on this planet Earth, with Yahweh Shai being the ultimate ruler that's going to rule with an iron fist, and the 144,000 elect, which will be saved during World War III, or the Battle of Armageddon, when the missiles descend on Babylon the Great, aka America, and these chariots, or the ones people generally call UFOs, will enter the atmosphere of the other dimension right when the missiles are descending all over the earth, but specifically on Babylon the Great, to deliver 144,000 from its destruction, or nuclear destruction. Okay, and they're also going to make fire, and it's going to be led by Yahweh Shai and the angels. Okay, but once these elect are delivered, they're going to descend back down to claim rulership of the planet, and also to put the elite bankers into slavery. Okay, so just like in this particular movie, where the villain had came to get get his virgins back, and get his girls back, that's how Yahweh Shai is going to come back to deliver the elect. Okay, to get his virgins back. Okay, and it's, like I said, it's when it says in Revelation 14, verse 14, which were not defiled with women, it's talking about those other philosophies. Okay, it's talking about not being dismayed by and having the full faith. All right, because the faith is going to be within the elect, because they are the true believers of the gospel of Yahushua Mashiach. Okay, I'm getting to Revelation 21. I'll start at verse 2. I'm going to skip around, but I'm going to read verse 2 here. Revelation 21, verse 2. And I, John, saw the holy city, New Jerusalem. And that New Jerusalem is speaking of the elect when they descend out of the ships after they've been delivered into salvation of America, aka Babylon Great, being destroyed. Coming down from the Most High out of heaven, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband. Okay. Now here's the New Jerusalem, skipping down to verse 9. And there came unto me one of the 7 angels which had the 7 vials full of the 7 last plagues, and talked with me, saying, Come hither, I will show thee the bride, the Lamb's wife. Verse 10, and he carried me away in the spirit to a great and high mountain, and showed me that great city, the holy Jerusalem, descending out of heaven from the Most High. Okay, and that's when, like I said, when the elect were going to, or when I'm part of that number, we're going to descend out of those ships and down back onto the planet Earth. And so telling how long the elect will be up in the ships once the destruction has taken place. Okay. But I want to thank Kanakala from the GMS camp for speaking and helping me derive this particular title, because he mentioned it in last week's lesson, talking about how the elect has spiritual chastity belts. And it made me think about this particular scene and premise of this particular film. Okay, so you haven't seen it, go ahead and check it out. Of course, there's other different examples that where you can see the chastity belts being used, but I just want to use this particular image for this particular lesson. I just want to share that. Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Hashem Yahushua, who gives me the strength and the spirit to continue to strive and adore in these last days. Shalom to the hopeful elect, and on to the next video.